We're all called by God. There's a purpose and a plan for my life. Problem is, I don't know what it is. And it's not that it's a secret. God's not playing games. It's just I'm looking in all the wrong areas and all the wrong ways. Now there's a general all-encompassing call for all Christians, and that's to follow Jesus and spread the gospel. You see, we have to be willing to at least do that. If you're not willing to do that, then you're really going to struggle finding your specific call. If you are willing to do that, then you need to be looking for the cues in life. Like when somebody speaks prophetically into your life about something specific. Take note of that. If you have fellow believers around you that see things in you consistently, people say something to you consistently, take note of that. If you have a real passion for a certain area of ministry and it doesn't deplete you, it energizes you, you feel like you could work on it all day long, take note of that. And here's a little warning. If there's an area in your life that you've worked very hard to develop and you've had great success in that area, it's probably not that, because God will put us in a position that we're least qualified for. And the reason He does that is so that we rely on Him and not on our own abilities. You know, really there's two types of Christians. You know, now these Christians are born again, saved, going to heaven. That's all good, okay? But one type of Christian kind of has some personal ambitions in life. They want to become something. So they go to school and they get all the proper education and they do become something. But it's probably not what God intended. Now there's another Christian that completely abandons themselves to God, puts aside their personal ambitions, and says, God, here I am, use me as you will. David Livingstone is a famous missionary, and he's responsible really for opening up Africa for missionary work. He became a doctor, and when he became a doctor, he decided, you know what? I'm going to go to Africa and do God's work. Well, his brother became a doctor at the same time. His brother said, no, I'm not going to Africa. I'm going to make a name for myself. Well, in the encyclopedia, David's brother has one line, and it says he is David Livingstone's brother. David has 16 paragraphs. You see, it always pays to trust in God and follow His plan. You know, if you get lucky enough to where you find your call, you're confident of what your call is, you know, you need to heed to that call. You need to respect it. You need to hold it with reverence. That area in your life where your call is, you need to protect it. And you need to treat it like it's holy. Let's say if I'm going to be teaching the Bible, I need to guard my mind. I'm not going to just read any old book. I'm not going to watch just any old TV show. You know, we waste so much time watching the news and worry about something that a week from now isn't even going to matter. If you're thinking about getting into the music ministry, okay, don't listen to just any old type of music. Guard that gift. Don't take it lightly. You know, there's a phrase out there called like a duck in water. So when somebody looks really natural and doing whatever they're doing, they'll say, oh, he's like a duck in water. But you know, a duck out of the water is very clumsy, and it just kind of hobbles around. That's what we look like when we get outside of our call. Let's say God has called me to be a writer. That I enjoy writing things. I do it very well. It's not laborious to me, and people are really blessed with it. There's a lot of fruit. But all of a sudden, I decide that I want to start preaching. Well, when I preach, I stumble all over my words, you know, and I'm stuttering, and I end up saying everything backwards the first time, and then I'm trying to turn it around, and everyone's more confused in the end than when we started. See, that's a duck out of water. You want to be careful to always stay within your call. We find 4 steps in Romans 12 which help us to find our gift. The first one is that we need to put our body on the altar as a sacrifice. We need to set aside all those lusts of the flesh and make ourselves pure. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all that He's done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind that He will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship Him. Number 2, our natural mind is self-centered, but our renewed mind is God-centered. You're only going to be able to find your call with your renewed mind. Your natural mind won't be able to find it. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way that you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Number 3, be realistic. When you apply for a job, you don't go right ahead and apply for the president's position. You know, whatever God puts before you, do it, and do it well, and He'll promote you. Because of the privilege and authority God has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith that God has given you. Number 4, find your place in the body and be what you are. You know, when a hand tries to be a foot, it's very, very clumsy. Just as our bodies have many parts, and each part has a special function, so it is with Christ's body. We are many parts in one body, and we all belong to each other. So we have 4 steps. Present your body, renew your mind, be realistic, and find your place. You know, your call comes with a cost. But you know, the payoff is a life that's rich, fulfilling, and exciting. You know, you're going to end up at the end of the road. You're not going to have this life where there's a bunch of wasted years with no permanent effect on anything. You're going to end up with a life that's full of eternal fruit.
Water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you, none like you. Into the darkness you shine.